What's going on, traders? It's going to be a quick video. I just want to get you guys prepared heading into tomorrow. It is a simple warning video. This is not me being overly bearish. This is not me being overly bullish. I just want to get you guys prepared and look at some key levels, and not only look at some key levels, but look at order flow in order to determine whether or not we're going to continue towards the upside. And if we are going to continue towards the upside, is it a trap? So let's get straight into it. So first things first, I want to look at SMH, right? And I talked about this in the last video. When we look at the weekly time frame here and we zoom out, we see that SMH is pretty much at this trend line that we talked about in the last video. You got a rejection here, multiple rejections here, and we're right there, right at around 340. Between 340 345 is where we're risking a potential rejection. Now, I'm not saying it has to happen, but there is a lot of structure in this area, and obviously if SMH tanks, then it's probably or more likely going to take Nvidia down with it. And if Nvidia goes down, then chances are tech sector is going to go down as well. So what we're looking for here, if we're looking to be bearish, right, is we want to see a retest of this trend line and then a rejection back towards the downside. Ultimately, you want to see 323 hold. That is your major level towards the downside. If you give up 323, then chances are you're heading towards this gap fill at around 307. Lowest you're looking at is 298. Right here where these guys are. You got a rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. So 298 will be the lowest level. And me personally, I think that's a beautiful buying opportunity if and only if we head towards that level. Now, if we're looking to be bullish and we're looking for more upside or even all-time highs, right, what we want to see here is a break and retest above 350 when it comes to SMH. We're pretty far off from there, but that's what we want to see, right? We want to see a break, retest, and then from there, I imagine we're going to obviously head towards all-time highs, and then that will most likely put Nvidia in the 200s range. You guys know that I have a price target of 230 when it comes to Nvidia by the end of the year, possibly even higher than that. And so that's what we're looking for when it comes to SMH. Do what you want with this information. All right, so in a critical spot, all right, in a critical spot, not only SMH, but when we look at the SPY, right, we look at the SPY, we look at the triple Qs, we're at some very pivotal levels here, right? And I talked about this in the Discord. You zoom out, right, and again, you're really close to this trend line. You're going to see this across the board, right? You got a rejection here, multiple rejections here. Well, you did your little roller coaster dance here, but ultimately you ended up breaking back towards the downside. Rejection here, and you are getting close to that area all over again. Highest you're looking at is about 672, and we did close below 665, which is a very pivotal level. Not only did we close below 665, but we're pretty much right there at the 21 MA. If we cannot get above 665, not only 665, but get above the 21 MA and hold, then I do imagine that we're going to head back towards the downside and fill this gap at around 654, 655, sorry. All right. So if we are looking to break further towards the upside, what we want to see here is a break retest above 665. I'll just say 666 to be safe. And then from there, I'm looking at a move towards 670, between 670, 672. Even if we break higher tomorrow, right? There's a lot of resistance in this area here. A lot of resistance, a lot of structure, a lot of resistance in this area. So it's going to be tough. All right, you're obviously going to need some pretty decent news for us to really break out of this area. I mean, a lot of rejections here. Even the trend line is here. A lot of bears are in this area. So again, you're just going to need some really good news for us to really get out of this area. So Jerome Powell, best thing you can hope for is for him to be extremely dovish, and then we just break out of here. All right, but for now, me personally, I think we're just going to end up creating a lower high. That's just the best thing I can see right now. Can it change? Absolutely. But for now, it looks like we could potentially create a lower high if and only if we manage to break above 665. If we can't break above 665, then again, I think we're just going to head towards that 654, 655 target. And then if we manage to break lower, then we're going to liquidate this wick right here and then possibly head towards the 100 MA all the way at the 630s right here where these bulls are. There's bulls here, there's bulls here. So I do imagine if we are going to break further towards the downside, then we're looking at a correction happening. So that's what I'm looking at when it comes to the SPY triple Qs. Pretty much the same thing with the triple Qs. Now when you zoom out on the triple Qs here on a 4-hour time frame, you see that we closed below 603.1. 603.1 is your key level. Not only did you close below 603.1, but you are closing below this channel here. Now, one thing that can happen heading into tomorrow, and this is why I say what you want to pay attention to is whether or not we're going to be bullish heading into Jerome Powell's speech or we're going to be bearish heading into his speech. Because if we're bullish, then historically what happens after Jerome Powell's speech is you get an inverse move. So if we pump towards the upside and we get back in this range, right, and let's say we head towards maybe 6 606, 607, right before Jerome Powell's speech, then there's a good chance, all right, a chance that we break back towards the downside, bulls get trapped, and then we start filling this gap all the way at around 590, 589, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens from there. But if we just drop from, or we start dropping tomorrow, right, like immediately, then I think that's a good sign for bulls, right? We just fill this gap and then we just head back towards the upside, right? So very, very, very important day tomorrow. I will say that much, okay? So you really want to pay attention to what happens before Jerome Powell's speech. Now, in order for us to break further towards the downside, I think it's obvious. I think you guys don't really need me to tell you this, right? You want to see the triple Qs get below 580. If the triple Qs get below 580, there's an empty void here. Like one of my mods pointed this out in the Discord, or admin pointed this out in the Discord. There's like a huge void here. And I do believe we're going to have to come back down here. When? I can't tell you guys. I'm not saying this is going to happen tomorrow or anything like that. I'm just saying that there's a void here. All right, this has to get filled at some point in time. When that happens, I can't tell you. All right, so for now, we're gonna play the humble game. We're gonna be conservative, and we're gonna focus on this gap fill here, or potential gap fill here. I'm not guaranteeing this is going to get filled, but if it does get filled, don't be surprised tomorrow. Okay, between tomorrow and the rest of the week. Okay, so again, your key level here when it comes to triple Qs is 603.1. You get above 603.1 and hold, then chances are you're heading towards 607.3. You get above 607.3, you're heading towards 610, and then we'll see what happens from there. Highest target I'm looking at is about 615. All right, 615 is what I'm looking at when it comes to the triple Qs. All right, so Bitcoin, real quick. Bitcoin looks great right now. Like I said in the last video, I'm not bearish on crypto. I just don't have a reason to be bearish on crypto. Again, if you missed it in the last video, we have this inverse head and shoulders pattern. You got a shoulder here, head here, another shoulder here. You ended up retesting the neckline. You're bouncing off that neckline. Not only are you bouncing off the neckline, but you're bouncing off the 100 MA. I mean, that's it. Right, that's it. As long as you stay above 109K when it comes to Bitcoin, you're fine. Your next key level from 109K was 114.8. You're above 114.8. As long as you stay above 114.8, there's a good chance you're heading towards 118K. We'll see. All right, but for now, Bitcoin looks great. Really hard for me to be bearish on this thing. I mean, really hard. Until we get below 109K, I don't see it. All right, I just don't see it. I mean, even if we get below 109K, I still wouldn't be bearish until we get below 97K. We get below 97K, then that's when things get scary. All right, that's when things get scary. But we won't talk about that until or if that happens. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. We look at a few stocks here. Tesla. Until Tesla gets above 450, which I think is possible. I wouldn't say that. All right, let me change it. All right, so 450. If you do not get above 450 when it comes to Tesla, you're going to reject back towards the downside, and chances are you're heading back towards 414. All right. Until you get above 450, I just got nothing for Tesla. I do think you're going to end up retesting 450, most likely tomorrow if we open up bullish. But after that, I mean, it's looking like you could create a lower high. And I think I talked about this in the last video. You just simply do one of these. And if you can't get above these guys right here, guys, I mean, I don't see much upside from here. 450, and then boom, you're heading back towards the downside. So 450 is your pivotal level. You get above 450, then chances are you're heading back towards previous highs at around 470, 480, and then from there we'll have to wait and see what happens. If you can't get above 450, you're heading back towards 414, and then from there you'll see a break and retest of 414. You're heading much lower. At that point, I do believe you're heading towards 380, right where the 100 MA is. 370, 380, somewhere around that range. All right. Like I said in the last video, I've said this multiple times. At some point in time, Tesla needs to retest this area. I don't know when. It just left it, right? When you leave pivotal areas like this or very important zones like this, at some point in time in the future, you need to retest it. So 360, 370 is something I want to pay attention to when it comes to Tesla. I think this is a beautiful buying opportunity, by the way. When it comes to Tesla, I told you guys about buying Tesla at 220. I'm sure a lot of you missed it. You don't want to miss this opportunity here. All right, so if Tesla comes back down here, I think it's a beautiful buying opportunity between 360 and 370. All right, and again, I do believe at some point in time in the future, you are going to have to come back down here. Again, I don't know when. I can't tell you when. All right, so Nvidia, I don't think I went over Nvidia. Nvidia looks like it wants to revisit 190. That's about it. All right, that's really all I have. Anytime these bars form, so anytime Nvidia has an inside bar, it just does not get above it. Like, it has a very hard time getting above it. You see this in the past. Like here, you had an inside bar right here. You tried to break for higher, you could not do it. You have a bar here. You tried to break harder, you cannot do it. All right. So I imagine it's going to be the same thing here, where you're probably going to attempt to break further to the upside when it comes to Nvidia. Maybe do one of these, you know, just like we've seen over and over in the past, and then you break down. All right. Nvidia is a absolute monster, an absolute giant, so it's very much possible that it breaks towards the upside, but for now I just can't see it. All right, highest I'm looking at is about 195. You may wick a little bit higher towards maybe 200, but then I mean, I imagine you're going to see a rejection towards the downside if that happens. All right. So anytime Nvidia has these type of candles, these bearish engulfing candles, it tends to respect it more often than not. All right. It's not guaranteed 100% of the time, but it does tend to respect it. So that leads me to talk about order flow. All right. Because I haven't done this in quite some time. There's a lot of puts coming in for the SPY when it comes to order flow, and a lot of them are coming in for November 21st. So you have 650 strike puts for November 21st. You have 600 strike puts for November 21st, as 650 strike puts coming in for November 21st as well. And then you zoom down, or you scroll down, I should say, right? You scroll down and you see 630 strike puts for November 21st, 625 strike puts as well. You scroll down even further. There was a specific one that I was looking at here. Yeah, so you see back-to-back 663. No, wait, this is not the right one. But you do see 663 calls. These played out. These are in profit. So yeah, those guys made absolute bag there. But I'm trying to find those puts that came in for October 22nd. There were puts that came in. Regardless, guys, there is a lot of bearish flow coming in for the SPY between October 22nd and November 21st. And a lot of the calls that are coming in, they're more short dated. So that's something you want to pay attention to. Now, this can be hedging. I will argue that this is a lot of hedging. Like, this is a lot of money to put on the line to be hedging. So you really want to be careful. All right. You really want to be careful here when it comes to just really going full blown calls, right? Just going long in general. You want to be careful because there's a lot of puts coming in on the order flow when it comes to the SPY, triple Qs, and even IWM. I mean, we look at IWM, and even us in the Discord, we jumped into hedges for IWM, right? Just in case, you know, the market corrects, crash, whatever you want to call it. But there's a lot of puts coming in for IWM. You see a lot of 230 strike puts coming in for November 21st, 232 strike puts come in for November 21st right here as well. The premiums are pretty high as well. You're looking at a premium of about 200K here, right? These are the 230 strike puts for December. You got 2.1 million premium here. You got 3.4 million premium here. Another 1.4 million for the same expiration here. So there's a lot of puts coming in for the triple Q, SPY, and IWM. So you want to be careful, all right? It's not me being over bearish or anything like that. I'm pretty much 50-50 right now. I'm not going to be super bearish or anything like that. I just want you guys to be prepared for what could potentially happen within the next week or two. I actually want to look at Tesla because I do believe Tesla had a lot of 430 and 440 strike calls come in as well. So here you see 430 strike calls come in for November 14th. Another 430 strike call. These are pretty much in profit. These came in earlier today. They were pretty much in the money already. 450 strike calls coming in for November 7th. You got 500 strike calls coming in as well. So I do imagine that Tesla's going to see a little bit more upside here, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens from there. So yeah, a lot of calls coming in, a lot of call premium coming in for Tesla. So I do imagine that we're probably going to see some upside heading into tomorrow, and then maybe a dump. All right, maybe a dump after Jerome Powell. All right, and then we'll wait and see what happens from there. Now, where that puts Bitcoin, I can't say because Bitcoin still looks bullish to me, but if we don't dump and we just continue towards the upside, that's great as well. I'll take it. All right. In the Discord, we absolutely crushed it. I talked to you guys about ARM in the last, I don't know how many videos. We've been saying we've been bullish on ARM. Shout out to Discord members for taking the IONQ trade idea, right? I gave them an idea of, or I alerted an idea of IONQ 80 strike calls for October 17th. I said as long as IONQ can stay above 75.6, it can head towards 83. Absolutely crush that target. You can feel free to check it out yourselves. Look where IONQ is right now. And then I talked about ARM, right? I've been talking about ARM for the past I don't know how many videos. I let you guys know that I do believe ARM is going to head towards 180. Highest is 200. We took the trade on ARM. Absolutely crushed it. I'm sure a lot of Discord members are still holding the position, so congratulations to them. I alerted Discord members. A lot of volume was coming in for the ARM 200 strike calls for October 24th right here. So congratulations to Discord members on that as well. So this was an absolutely beautiful, beautiful play here. And then we scroll down. These are the IWM hedges I was talking about. Again, they're hedges. Just want to make that clear. Do your own research before you jump into them. But yeah, ARM, I think it's like at 190 after hours, probably even higher than that. I don't know. I haven't checked yet. But yeah, ARM is just going absolutely ballistic after hours. And like I said, I let Discord members know as long as ARM stays above 161, this thing can head towards 167.5 minimum. A target I'm looking at is 171.8. And it went way beyond that. So congratulations Discord members on that. So if you want to be part of the community, you want to get trades like this, I think we're on a win streak right now. Maybe. All right. Join the Discord. Discord link will be in the description below. Until the next video, traders, have you a good one.